What's up, guys? I'm Josh, and I have a vlog about a new book that I was able to read by Jeff Bethke. It's called It's Not What You Think. You can pick it up at virtually any bookstore. You can order online. You got e-readers that you can also purchase it from. I really enjoyed reading his last book, Jesus is Greater Than Religion. I enjoy his videos that he has on YouTube. You definitely need to check out his content. Follow Jeff on all his social networks as well. But briefly, this book is definitely for the person that is struggling with identity, and especially identity with Christ and how God views us as his children, as his creation. It also explains what God intends for how we're supposed to live life, how we're supposed to find rest, how we're supposed to relate to people. Another target audience that I would say is someone that's trying to find balance in their life. I know in America especially, I don't know where you are when you're watching this video, but here in America we are very busy. Like, we don't have many moments to where we're just in silence. And there's a lot of reasons that are like that. We have this consumer mindset and we're just engulfed with our technology. Each chapter is really special and relevant to me, at least, because I've grown up in the church. I've seen a lot of different perspectives. I've been on one side of the spectrum to the other as far as denominations go. I've seen a lot of different kind of ways that Christianity it just doesn't seem like it's where it needs to be. And he addresses that issue almost to the extent to where, do we as Christ followers need to label ourselves something different other than Christian? Is it that point in history yet? I think we still got time. I think we got time to save or bring back what Christianity is supposed to be like, as what the original church was doing, or just back what Jesus wanted us to be doing today. Just briefly, I want to go over the chapters, and it really does kind of outline what the book is about. Chapter 1 is Your Story is Not What You Think. Love defined you before anything else did. Chapter 2, The Temple is Not What You Think. It's God pitching his tent in your backyard. Chapter 3 is People are not who you think. They are neighbors to love, not commodities to use. Chapter 4, You are not who you think. You're a person from the future. Uses a lot of Back to the Future references. And how relevant is that? Because if you pay attention to today's dates, the Cubs in the World Series, just crazy stuff going on right now. But chapter 5 is The Sabbath's Not What You Think. You rest as you play. That was actually probably one of my favorite chapters in the whole book. If you know me, you know that I'm into technology and a lot of different stuff like that. There's some issues that I really wrestled with, and I'll get into that in just a second. So chapter 5 was definitely one of my favorites. 6 is Worship's Not What You Think. You become what you behold. That's been a message on my heart for a long time. Basically, the atmosphere that you put yourself in is what you'll become. And it kind of goes into that kind of stuff, kind of defining what you worship. Because we all worship something, whether it's God or whether it's relationships or something like that. Chapter 7 is The Kingdom's Not Where You Think. It's not in the sky, it's here now. Chapter 8, Brokenness is Not What You Think. You must embrace your scars. Chapter 9, the final chapter, is The Table's Not What You Think. It's not just a meal, it's a sacred space. Next, I just kind of want to talk about how this book has made a difference in my life already. There's some highlights in this book, and when I say highlights, man, you could actually take a highlighter and color this thing full of color, because Jeff is one of the most quotable authors or speakers around today. He just has some phenomenal thought. He really articulates what he is trying to communicate. It's just an awesome message. This is one of those books that you're going to probably want to take some notes on, definitely highlight. You're going to probably want to pass this book on to somebody else when you're done with it. But anyways, like, the way that this book has made a difference in my life is in 3 different areas. Those 3 areas include fear of silence, my addiction to phones, and my dysfunction of finding rest. Now, unfortunately, those all pretty much play into each other, but they kind of get broken down into a few different ways. Unfortunately, like, those actually play hand in hand together. They kind of play off of each other. But that's kind of like when I was going through this book, some of the areas of my life that I noticed that I really need work on, that I've got to find some balance somewhere. One of the examples that I like to use when I talk about the fear of silence is back in 2011, my dad died. And before then, I used to pick up the phone and call him every day after work on the way home from work. And so I would just have some really good conversations with him, whether it's just checking in with him, see how he's doing, or just talk about any kind of struggles, any victories, just conversations with my dad. It's one of the things that I'll remember my whole life. It's just a very special time that I had with my dad, just being able to talk to him on the phone. I wasn't able to visit him, person to person or face to face, but I was able to talk to him on the phone. So it became a habit. It became an area of my life to where I wish I had it back. I would do anything to be able to have those conversations again. But after reading this book, it actually kind of uncovered a problem in my life. I have a fear of silence. I can't just sit and be still. I can't have just a moment of silence. I can't just be somewhere and just be. I have to be checking my phone. I have to be distracting my mind some way, somehow. And truth be told, calling my dad every day after work was one of those ways that I coped with it. Not saying that those conversations were a bad thing to do, but it turned out to be something that was kind of covering up an area or an issue in my life that I didn't really realize that I had. The other area was addictions to phones, and I could go on and on and on just on this subject alone. I have a tech blog and channel, so I'm always talking about technology. I love technology. I got a smartwatch, tablets, phones, all kinds of stuff like that. I just love it. It's a passion of mine, but it's become an obstacle in growth in my life. So there's going to be some areas that I have to talk about. And he really goes in depth about the Sabbath, and that's the chapter 5 that I was talking about. We need to find a way to where we can literally have rest, peace, and enjoyment around other things besides thinking we got to check the next message, see what's coming up next, what's going on here, what's going on there. We've got to find a way to disconnect because we're just so connected. And because of those things, and I go into a lot of it in my written review, I definitely encourage you to read that because I want to keep this under 10 minutes so that way Amazon will accept it. I want to be able to post this to Amazon. So this is going to be just kind of like a brief overview, but I want you to read the blog part as well, the review, the written review, because I go into a little bit more details about what I feel about the book and how it changed my life already. So basically, what now? That's the challenge. When you hear a message like this, when you see someone really just lay out the problems that's going on in a loving way, I never once felt shamed because of what he was talking about. And that's what I love about Jeff. Like he doesn't place shame on you whatsoever. It's actually as if he's walking through the issues with you. There's a great video that he just released called Put Down Your Phone. I definitely recommend you go watch it as soon as you can because it really does tie along with the book that he just wrote. There's so much more to say about this book, and I would love to carry on the conversation with you. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. I'd love to have that conversation with you. If you want more information on where to buy, you can actually head over to itsnotwhatyoutthink.tv for all the information that you need. Thank you for watching this video. I do appreciate it. If you like it, share it with your friends and family. I really think that you'll enjoy reading this book. I actually think that you're going to want to buy more than one because it's going to be one that you're going to want to keep, but also give away. Chapter 2, the temple is not what you think. It's God pitching, I can't say that.